Chosen one, become still for a moment, because the heaviness you feel does not come only from long and exhausting days. It is also a sign that an old season is gradually losing its authority, and that a profound transformation is taking shape within you. Do not immediately try to push the feeling away, and do not quickly conclude that you are becoming weak. Certain changes begin through very subtle disturbances. You no longer feel comfortable with things you once accepted. You cannot continue pretending to be at peace in places that drain you, and you no longer possess the strength to return to cycles that continually make you smaller. What feels like pressure within your chest may be a reminder that your inner life is asking for a new direction. You have lived in survival mode for too long, but now I am teaching you how to step out of it with awareness, calmness, and courage. You once believed you were being held inside an invisible room where everyone else seemed to move forward while you could only wait. You watched doors open for others and wondered whether your name had been forgotten. But my child, waiting is not a sentence, and silence does not prove that I have moved away from you. Certain things must close completely, because the former version of you cannot enter the new season, carrying the fears, habits, and dependencies that once controlled you. Some doors close because they lead only back into the past. Certain relationships leave because they were built upon you continually giving without being respected. Some plans fall apart because they are too small for the growth being prepared within you. Do not try to reopen what has already closed merely because familiarity makes you feel safe. An important change occurred when the pain within you stopped producing only tears and began producing discernment. In the past, you reacted through fear. Now you know how to pause before deciding. You once tried to explain yourself to everyone. Now you understand that peace does not need to be argued into existence. You believed strength meant never becoming tired, never crying, and never needing help. But I have taught you that genuine strength is the ability to look directly at a wound without allowing it to control your future. It is the moment when you can acknowledge that you were hurt without turning pain into your identity. You can remember betrayal without still desiring revenge. You can look upon the years that were lost without believing that the rest of your life will also be taken away. If you want to write a number or an affirmation to mark your decision, do so freely, not because you fear. Heaven will overlook you if you remain silent. I do not need you to prove your readiness through a public comment. What I see is the private choice you make after this moment. Are you ready to stop feeding thoughts that make you powerless? Are you willing to leave what continually pulls you downward? Are you prepared to rebuild your life through practical steps, instead of merely waiting for an intense emotion to appear? A declaration carries weight only when it is followed by action. Let change begin through sleeping more sufficiently, managing your time with greater clarity, confronting financial numbers honestly, learning a new skill, and refusing to give decision-making authority to people who bear no responsibility for your future. I know what it feels like when you sit alone, watch the world outside continue moving, and wonder why you seem to have been left behind. There were nights when the light from the street passed across your window while an emptiness within you had no one with whom it could be shared. You held your phone, looked through a list of familiar names, and found no one who truly understood what was happening inside you. You felt different, as though you still lived among people but did not fully belong anywhere. You learned to use their language, fulfill their expectations, and laugh when they expected you to, while the truest part within you quietly longed to be seen. I saw you in those moments. You are not strange, nor have you been excluded from this world. You are simply being called out of a way of living that required you to hide too much. Do not believe your difference is a punishment. You may feel more deeply, ask more questions, and remain unsatisfied with superficial things. This sometimes leaves you lonely, but it also gives you the ability to recognize what others overlook. You see sorrow behind a smile, exhaustion behind a strong appearance, and the need for love behind difficult behavior. Your experiences are developing compassion, sensitivity, and the ability to bring peace to people who once believed no one could understand them. I do not want you to use your difference to separate yourself or assume that you stand above others. I want you to use it as a bridge, helping you see people with compassion while preserving enough discernment not to continue being exploited. You once asked me why precious years seemed to be consumed by delays, losses, and battles that were not worth fighting. I do not deny that you lost many things. Certain opportunities genuinely passed, some relationships left emptiness behind, and some seasons required you to live with very little strength. Yet the restoration I am performing is not merely the return of exactly what was lost. I am turning experience into wisdom, failure into discernment, and lonely days into the foundation of a peace that cannot be easily taken away. You cannot reverse time, but you can enter the coming years with maturity for which you paid a great price. This will help you move more quickly without becoming impulsive, recognize opportunities sooner, and avoid the mistakes that once kept you trapped. Restoration beyond measure does not necessarily mean that 20 years of blessings must be compressed into a fixed number of calendar years. Do not allow attractive calculations to make you overlook the value of the process. Deeper restoration means that your new day is no longer governed by former pain. It is when an opportunity appears and you possess enough confidence to receive it. When sincere love approaches and you no longer destroy it through fear of abandonment, and when resources increase and you have enough wisdom to manage them. I can open roads, bring suitable connections, and awaken abilities you once forgot. But you must also learn how to walk. Flow does not mean surrendering yourself to everything that happens. It means you stop wasting strength, resisting necessary changes, and begin cooperating with growth. The waiting room truly becomes a place of authority only when you stop seeing yourself as a powerless victim. You do not need a throne to know your worth, nor do you need validation from large institutions or declarations carrying the name of science before believing in your ability. The hidden genius within you is awakened through curiosity, discipline, learning, and persistence after failure. Do not wait for some distant discovery to prove what is already present in the way you survived, adapted, and continued creating under pressure. You found paths when there was no map. You solved problems you once thought impossible. You supported others even while you yourself needed support. These things are not accidental. They reveal that you possess far greater ability than the small image you once believed about yourself. Now step out of the waiting room through one clear decision. Do not merely wait until you feel ready, because readiness is often created after you begin. Choose one thing you have delayed and take the first step. Restore order to your living space, time, finances, and relationships. Release self-condemning words. but do not use spiritual messages to avoid practical responsibility. I am giving you peace so that you can think clearly, courage so that you can change, and patience so that you can build what will last. You no longer need to fight every wind, but you must learn how to adjust the sails. When the direction of the wind changes, the wise do not curse the sky. They change the way they move so that they can still reach their destination. Beloved child, your season of restoration will not be seen only through what appears in your hands, but also through the person you are becoming. You will recover time by living with greater awareness, recover joy by refusing to remain where you are drained, and recover strength by no longer using it to endure everything indefinitely. The past closed, not to imprison you outside, but to prevent you from returning to a place that no longer fits. Rise with humility and continue forward. What lies ahead does not need a perfect version of you. It needs someone genuine, teachable, capable of establishing boundaries, and no longer afraid to receive what is good. You have remained in the waiting room long enough. Now I am leading you out, not through noise, but through a clarity that makes every step steadier. Chosen one, even as you continue listening, I am opening before you a new awareness of the person you truly are, the person you have been afraid to believe you could become. This is not because the sky suddenly changes in a way visible to ordinary eyes, nor because you must hunt for strange signs to prove that heaven is near. The true shift begins as the lies that once covered your worth gradually lose their authority. You spent many years living under definitions formed by wounds, rejection, failure, and judgments spoken without love. You heard them for so long that you began to believe they were your own voice. But today I am calling you out of that former way of seeing yourself. You no longer need to live as someone always standing at the edge, asking permission to exist, and questioning whether you deserve love. Your name has never been forgotten within heaven's care, even when you believed every prayer had disappeared into silence. I recognized every sigh, every unfinished sentence, and every time you forced yourself to rise, while no one knew how exhausted you had become. There were days when you looked at what you had not yet achieved and concluded that you were moving more slowly than everyone else. There were nights when you remembered former mistakes and wondered whether they had taken away your opportunity to enter a better future. But, beloved child, the past may explain your wounds. It is not permitted to write the sentence governing the rest of your life. I do not call you by the name failure once gave you. I call you according to the ability being healed, the character being built, and the purpose becoming clearer. What I want to reveal is not that you are more important than everyone else or entitled to treat yourself as the center of all things. Being chosen does not mean standing above others. It means being awakened to live more responsibly with the love, ability, and opportunities entrusted to you. You are beloved not because you are perfect, never make mistakes, or always remain strong. You are loved during confused days, while you still do not clearly understand the direction. And even when you can take only one very small step, my love does not increase when you succeed, nor does it decrease when you stumble. When you truly understand this, you will stop chasing universal approval, stop treating achievement as proof of worth, and stop remaining in relationships where you must beg for basic respect. I am removing each lie that caused you to believe you were too difficult to love, too wounded to be useful, or too late to begin again. Certain people made you feel that your sensitivity was a burden. Some loved you only when you continually yielded, remained silent, and established no boundaries. A few failures caused you to believe that you lacked ability, while closed doors made you assume every place would reject you. But these things are not the whole truth. Your sensitivity can become compassion when guided by wisdom. Rejection can teach you how to find the place where you truly belong. Mistakes can become lessons that help you walk more steadily when you stop using them to punish yourself. I do not erase your past. I transform what you experienced into depth, discernment, and the ability to support others without judging them. As these barriers begin to fall, the peace within you will deepen. Not because every circumstance becomes perfect immediately, but because you no longer allow circumstances to determine your worth. You will be able to face rejection without treating it as evidence that you are useless. You will pass through delay without concluding that you have been forgotten. You will watch others move forward without diminishing yourself or competing to prove that you are also worthy. True peace does not remove every outside noise. It creates a stable place within, so that the noise no longer controls your steps. When you know you are loved, you do not need to react to every judgment. When you know you have purpose, you do not need to chase every door. When you know your road is being guided, you possess enough patience to reject what is attractive but unsuitable. Your purpose will also become clearer when you stop trying to become the version others expect. I did not create you to live through imitation, continually looking at another person's journey and forcing yourself to follow the same rhythm. Certain gifts within you require silence in order to develop. Some abilities become visible only after you leave environments that continually disregard them. Certain responsibilities could not be entrusted earlier because you needed to learn emotional stewardship. Preserve boundaries and remain steady before recognition. You are not behind. You are being deepened. Years that seemed unproductive may have been building endurance, discernment, and the humility necessary to prevent you from losing yourself when you enter a wider sphere. If you want to write an affirmation that you are loved and chosen, do so with awareness, not as a ritual intended to force heaven to act. A comment cannot purchase blessing, nor does it make you more valuable than someone who writes nothing. Yet the words you speak may become a marker for an inward decision. When you write, "I am God's beloved child," or "I am chosen," understand that you are agreeing to leave behind a way of living that continually rejects yourself. You are declaring that you will no longer call yourself by names given through pain. You are choosing to believe that you can be healed, mature, and guided into a meaningful life. This declaration carries weight only when tomorrow you begin living in alignment with it. Speaking more gently to yourself, refusing places that cost you dignity, and remaining faithful to the small responsibilities entrusted to you. I want you to remain with this truth, not because you must listen to one more message before receiving what is good, but because you have become accustomed to leaving as soon as something begins touching the deepest pain. You often hear an encouraging word and quickly return to former thoughts. You feel hope for a few minutes, but then a memory, a judgment, or an unchanged circumstance causes you to doubt everything. Transformation requires more than one emotional moment. It requires patience as you replace each false belief with truth, each automatic reaction with a mature choice, and each habit of diminishing yourself with treatment. Worthy of someone who truly has value, do not seek only a stirring feeling. Seek a foundation stable enough to sustain you, even on days when you feel nothing extraordinary. What will anchor you is not a promise that you will never face another challenge. It is the awareness that challenges cannot take away your identity. A difficult day does not make you a failure. One wrong decision does not erase your capacity for growth. Another person's departure does not mean you are unworthy of love. A delayed door does not prove that your future has closed. When this truth takes root, you will no longer be lifted too high by praise and thrown too low by criticism. You will learn to stand steadily, receive correction without destroying yourself, correct mistakes without drowning in shame, and continue moving without requiring everyone to agree. The atmosphere around your life begins changing when the way you see yourself is renewed. Relationships built on control may no longer feel comfortable. Conversations that only nourish fear will no longer hold your attention. Opportunities requiring you to betray your deepest values will become less attractive, no matter how glamorous they appear outwardly. Do not panic before this change. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming clear. You are not losing your former self. You are releasing the version that had to continually please others in order to feel safe. New discernment will help you recognize who truly values you, which places nurture growth, and which choices align with the peaceful future. I am building my radiant beloved. Do not turn away from yourself in this moment. You have done that too many times, merely because others failed to recognize your worth. You diminished your voice, delayed your dreams, and disregarded the gifts within so that no one would feel uncomfortable. Now step into the identity of someone loved yet humble, chosen yet willing to serve, strong yet still gentle. I am not calling you to live under the illusion that everything will happen automatically. I am calling you to cooperate with renewal. Learn, act, correct mistakes, rest, and walk in trust. What heaven has wanted to tell you for a long time is simple but powerful enough to change your entire direction. You do not have to become someone else before you deserve love. You only need to allow genuine love to heal you, and then from that healed place, courageously become the person I have quietly prepared you to be, beloved child. Look at the footsteps of those who were prepared in darkness, because forgotten seasons are often the very places where I transform a person so that they can carry greater responsibility without losing their good character. Joseph was placed in circumstances no one would desire, separated from what was familiar, misunderstood, and made to live through a period when every promise seemed distant. The person he once helped did not immediately remember him, while the door before him remained silent, as though it would never open. But you must understand that he was not merely waiting for time to pass. During days when no one could see him, his patience was refined, discernment deepened, and the way he saw himself was cleansed from bitterness. I did not use the circumstances to crush him. I used waiting to dissolve the identity of someone defined by the past so that he could emerge with the posture of a person who knew he had been called for a greater purpose. The same pattern is present in your journey. You cannot carry responsibility on a higher level while still governed by fear, haste, or the need for recognition. I do not say this to condemn you, but to help you understand why certain doors did not open the moment you knocked. There are things you desire to receive, but first you must become someone capable of holding them in peace. A great opportunity can become a burden if you still believe achievement must prove your worth. A new position may exhaust you if you have not learned to establish boundaries. Expansion can make you lose direction if too many former voices still pull you backward. Therefore, I am not only preparing what lies ahead, I am preparing you so that when the door opens, you do not enter as someone seeking permission, but as someone who understands responsibility and knows how to remain humble. Notice what happens within your body whenever you think about the future. Do your shoulders immediately tighten, your breathing shorten, your stomach contract, or your hands unconsciously clench? These signals are not evidence that your future is in danger. They may simply reveal that you have learned to associate change with risk, opportunity with pressure, and hope with the possibility of disappointment. I want you to stop condemning yourself for these responses. Treat them as invitations to slow down and return to the present. Place your hand upon the tense area. Breathe in gently and imagine your breath as clear light entering. Not to create an instant miracle, but to remind your body that you are safe in this moment. As you breathe out, allow the years of being overlooked, former judgments, and the fear of not being good enough to leave you little by little. You do not need to force yourself to feel anything extraordinary. If warmth, lightness, or a very subtle vibration appears, receive it calmly. If you feel nothing, it does not mean you have done something wrong. Deep release rarely arrives through loud expressions. Sometimes it begins when you recognize that you can think about tomorrow without immediately panicking. It appears when you stop rehearsing every worst-case scenario, when you stop treating delay as rejection, and when you can remain still without feeling that you are wasting time. I am teaching you a new rhythm where preparation no longer means tension and caution no longer becomes control. You may still plan, work diligently, and take responsibility without carrying the whole future upon today's shoulders. When you were younger, you once looked at the world with wide-open eyes. An ordinary object could become an entire story. A small courtyard could become a kingdom. And imagination was not restricted by the question of whether something was reasonable. Over time, you learned to diminish these possibilities so that you could fit other people's patterns. You heard too many statements telling you to be realistic, safe, and like everyone else, and gradually you lost permission to imagine a different future. I am not telling you to abandon discernment or chase ideas without foundation. I am inviting you to restore creativity, hope, and the ability to see beyond what present circumstances display. Maturity does not mean becoming rigid. A truly mature person knows how to combine imagination with discipline, dreams with planning, and faith with practical steps. Certain quiet states help your mind become less defensive and more open to new ideas. You do not need to understand every complex term or pursue a special state before returning to clarity. What you need is a pause honest enough to be real. When you sit quietly, reduce the noise, and stop forcing yourself to resolve every problem, your mind begins reorganizing what became too chaotic. Creativity has an opportunity to return. Memories are viewed through gentler eyes, and answers once hidden beneath haste may gradually appear. This is not a secret practice, reserved for a small number of people. It is the natural result of giving yourself enough space to listen without judgment. I do not require you to withdraw from life for many years, or travel somewhere distant, before change can happen. Sometimes, 7 minutes of complete presence each day is enough to begin a new movement. During those 7 minutes, put down your phone, sit somewhere quiet, and breathe slowly. Do not try to drive every thought from your mind. Simply observe them, passing without following them. When a worry appears, say inwardly, "I recognize you, but you do not have the authority to lead." When a painful memory returns, acknowledge that it once wounded you, then remind yourself that you no longer live in that moment. Afterward, ask gently, "What wise small step is before me today?" You do not need a great answer. It may be only a call you need to make, a boundary you need to establish, an idea you need to write down, or an hour of rest you have postponed for too long. 7 minutes is not a shortcut replacing discipline, responsibility, or necessary care. It is a door leading you back to yourself so that you stop operating only through reaction. When practiced consistently, this stillness helps you recognize what arises from fear and what comes through clarity. You will gradually understand that you do not need to answer every invitation immediately. Seize every opportunity, because you fear there will never be another, or rush what requires time to mature. I want you to become someone who can enter large rooms while maintaining calm breathing, accept responsibility without losing compassion, and see expansion without returning to the identity of someone once abandoned. Beloved child, your time in the waiting room was not completely meaningless, but it was never meant to last forever. The waiting room taught you patience, but now patience must become wise action. I am not calling you to remain seated because of fear. I am calling you to stand with a renewed mind, a heart no longer held by bitterness, and a body that has learned not to contract before the future. An opening door does not always make a loud sound. Sometimes it appears as an idea that repeatedly returns, a healthy connection, an ordinary opportunity, or a decision you have known for a long time that you need to make. Therefore, step out of the former room without carrying the identity that once helped you survive, but no longer fits where you are going. You are no longer someone who waits for others to remember you. You are no longer someone who needs external confirmation before trusting what has been placed within. I used silent days to teach you how to listen, delays to strengthen endurance, and limitations to make you more creative. Now carry all these things forward. The waiting room has completed its work. You do not leave it with arrogance, but with the calmness of someone who understands that they have been prepared. Take a deep breath, release what you cannot control, and perform the small step immediately before you. The shift is no longer merely something you are waiting for. It begins through the way you choose to live in this very moment.